Welcome to Lanterns Live, the only live stream YouTube channel dedicated to Green Lantern. I'm your host, Ralph, and today I'm talking about Green Lantern Corps number 7. And I am joined by Will from Green Lanterns Podcast.
Hey, guys.
Hey, dude. Vactor is in the chat. I don't want to, talk out of school or whatever they say. But Vactor's
I think the
not
kids say out of pocket.
out of pocket. Vactor's
Yeah.
not feeling well and lost his voice.
Oh no.
And yeah, so he's living it up at home. I need to figure out how to get the StreamYard to do the
I've
do
seen
the
those
emojis.
through StreamYard and I've seen them through Restream, and I think on both it does the same thing. Like, people who are
Yeah.
watching it will see the actual emoji,
Mhm.
but when it pops up as like text on the stream, for some reason, it always shows like whatever the title of the emoji is.
Yeah. I'm new to all this, but if you want to have emojis and badges next to your name, consider joining Lanterns Live here on YouTube, the subscription service. Still haven't had a $4.99 subscriber yet. As soon as that happens, I'll be doing bi-weekly, every other week, that version of bi-weekly Q&As, live Q&As for just members only. So consider joining if you want. Check out the new merch I have. Last week I introduced the Radu's coffee.
It looks awesome.
And I am currently working on something that I'm hoping I can get to by next week. I am working on a Warriors logo T-shirt for those of you that are fans of Guy Gardner's bar, Warriors.
There you go.
So check that out. Coming soon. It's crazy because it's only been a week since I've done a stream, and it feels like forever. I was away from Wednesday to Sunday working on a movie, doing behind the scenes. I was a set photographer, which was pretty cool. And I just I feel like I've been away from Green Lantern for a lot longer. It was a long week. It was like 14-hour days. I was getting to bed like at 1 every night, and
Ooh.
was up at 8, offloading photos from the camera and editing and trying to get stuff done. So kind of some stuff has happened over the last week that you chatted about, which I'm kind of excited for. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, but we have more information on My Adventures with Superman, which I think, since I don't have anything scheduled for next week as far as a live stream goes, I might go and watch My Adventures with Superman, and then maybe do an episode on there. I know that Green Lantern appears in one of them, and it's a very
Season
interesting
2.
take. Oh, so okay. So maybe should I watch the whole thing, or should I watch just the Green Lantern episode? Will I be completely lost if I watch the Green Lantern episode?
What I would do, just to play it safe, I would say find out what episode number it is that he appears in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most of the episodes can just be watched as a standalone episode, but if you just watch the one before it, that should give you everything you need to know going into that one to still not be confused about what's going on in My Adventures with Superman when it comes to that Green Lantern character. I think it was just the one episode that he was in.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, so maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll jump in.
It takes a little bit
more
to get rolling. I think that when they drop them, they drop 2 or 3 at the start to kind of get people feeling it.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about stuff that you posted. Most recently, it was a couple days ago. A lot of information was thrown at us about Hal Jordan, Kilowog, Kyle Rayner,
Kyle,
Jessica, and I'm just like, okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait till next week. I'm gonna get all the information I can and just do a stream next week about that. So,
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think it'll be a good time to because I don't have anything going on really next week. The following week, on the other hand, you should be back with me discussing Green Lantern number 26.
Mm-hmm.
And then the very next day, joining me in this studio is none other than Jeremy Adams,
Woo!
who is the co-writer of Green Lantern Corps, which we are discussing today, and also, of course, the Green Lantern book. And I'm definitely going to do a deep dive. Vactor has sent me over some questions. If you have any questions to send me over, I think that a lot of them are going to be similar, especially like thoughts on the Interceptor, thoughts on Razor and Aya, Green Lantern, the animated series. Holy shit. Okay, so look at this. Christian, my pal Christian, is not only in the chat, but this is my very first super chat. I've never had a super chat. I don't know how to deal with them.
Woohoo.
But dude, Christian, yeah, you didn't know how to Green Lantern channel. Just popped up on my recommends. Literally just bought the Blackest Night box set.
Oh gosh,
love it.
yeah,
Dude, Christian, like we've hung out a couple times. I don't. Here's the thing with Green Lantern fans. We're kind of far and few between. If you really have to like go to Green Lantern Reddit or like actively seek out like Green Lantern channels if you want like Green Lantern content. When it comes to the real world, like dude, last week on set, I mentioned Green Lantern and people looked like I was a fucking psychopath. Like because nobody, as far as like the general public goes, the only correlation they have of like Green Lantern is Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, 2011 Green Lantern.
Yeah. Luckily, Nathan Fillion and James Gunn have sort of been kind of
they've been fixing it.
They've been fixing it. They've been able to keep make it like distance from 2011's Green Lantern. So I'm really, especially in the last couple months, have been really feeling the Green Lantern love. Christian, thanks for joining. And the next time we hang out, which hopefully will be soon, like let's fucking talk Green Lantern. Also, I want to know, like, is this your first time reading Blackest Night? Yeah. Oh, so he has read it.
Yeah.
So Blackest Night is the comic that got him into comics. Great. Christian, I mean, we got to get you on as a guest sometime. Yeah. Who changed the shop? Question mark. I don't know what that means. There's two shops. For a while, I had a Threadless shop, which still exists, and you can still get stuff over at Threadless. Recently, I started Fourth Wall because their integration with YouTube. They have really good integration with YouTube, which means like if you go to my YouTube channel, like you can just shop straight from there, which is kind of rad. And nobody's bought anything from it, but that's fine. But I'm glad that it's there. A lot of people are seeing it. So if you have any ideas for designs that you want Green Lantern related, like let me know. Like if there's some weird thing in Green Lantern that you always wanted a shirt of, but nobody made it, like a Warriors t-shirt or like a comic accurate Radu's coffee mug. Like if you like haven't been able to find anything like that, if there's something like that, let me know, because I'm all for creating weird and interesting like stuff for shirts and mugs and stuff. So definitely hit me up. He says he knows he's excited, but I'm excited, but didn't they say the weird stuff about our boy Kyle? I don't know.
I think he's talking about my adventures with Green Lantern. Yeah. And that's very, very, very fair take. It's not just about Kyle. It's about like Kyle's story that we know. Obviously, my adventures with Green Lantern is going to be its own unique story. Mm-hmm. It's in its own universe. It is not tied to any comic. So we know Kyle will be in the show. Right. Kyle's going to be a love interest for Jessica Cruz.
Right.
Kyle's girlfriend that we know, Alex, who spent a little bit of time in a refrigerator, also happens to be in this show. But it's going to be like not like a children's show, but it's for a younger audience, so I
Right.
can't imagine there's going to be any fridging happening.
Also, Jessica's storyline is very dark. Like her comic origin is very, very dark.
Hmm.
If you're not familiar with Jessica Cruz's storyline, check out Justice League versus the Fatal Five. They that movie starts with
Yeah,
Jessica Cruz um, origin story, and so like it's one of those things where I don't know how Jessica Cruz is handled in DC superhero girls. Like I don't know if they get into origins, but she's definitely a dark character. Alex Alex is such a tough character. Like it's crazy that they're bringing up Alex. I would think that
yeah,
maybe DC would want to distance themselves from Alex just because of um, sort of the backlash. Alex's demise has become somewhat of a sticking point when it comes to how women are treated in comics, and like it's like always the Prime example, the GL Prime example.
yeah.
But it's man, like, hey, listen, like it's not great. I mean, shit, it was even fridging was brought up in She-Hulk
Hmm.
in the Marvel show. So it's one of those things where it's I, like I feel like we can tell a Kyle Rayner story without Alex being in there,
Agreed.
and it's really strange to me that they're bringing Alex in, and it's the first thing that any GL fan's going to say is like, "Oh boy, like, are they going to try to right the ship? Do you think they're going to try to do? I don't know. It's
I
so
do. I
rough.
think I think they are
Yeah,
going to try to retcon. They're making her parents politicians, and she's like amazing at sports. That Jessica also plays. Um, and I think because she was Kyle's girlfriend, Kyle's love interest is going to be Jess. I think she's going to be one of the people who is
yeah,
bullying Jess. So not fixing the fridging, but still making her like a not so lovable character. Like I don't know if
yeah,
that's a win, you know?
yeah. It's tough for me. I would just be like, because people keep bringing it up. Like, if Kyle Rayner shows up in Lanterns, will they bring up Alex? And it's one of those things where it's like, because Alex is so tied to his origin, to his beginning, that
Yeah.
it's like people are like, you have to tell that, but it's also like they don't have to tell that. Like
I think it's like,
look at Guy Gardner's origins are all over the place.
yeah,
So it's
it's
like
just
you
low
can move
hanging
away
fruit.
from it. It
And
is.
in today's society, we shoot so much for what people call peak bleak, like Game of
Yeah.
Thrones, where they want that gruesome, shocking, dark moment.
Yeah.
And that's a very gruesome, shocking, dark moment that they can throw in there just by having Kyle and Alex on screen.
Yeah. That's rough.
We
It's
didn't
rough.
just
It's
we didn't just get My Adventures with Green Lantern news. We did get some official Lanterns news. And then we got some Lanterns rumors via Josh Brolin, which
oh, I didn't hear this.
I didn't share it because I think he is misspeaking.
Okay.
But we had a Days of Our Lives child actor named Carrie
Right.
Christopher join Lanterns.
Right.
There's a new movie out right
Which
now called Weapons, and apparently he's in the second half of it and has a great performance.
Emmy nominated or Emmy win for Days of Our Lives. Like he sounds like, or he, I know he's, I'm pretty sure he's Emmy nominated if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
he
So
is.
again, they've already wrapped shooting, so I'm sure he's already finished whatever it was that he was working on.
Yeah, he
But
did.
it's really interesting that they're doing an announcement. I wonder if that's for just PR reasons for his team, to help like kind of get his name out there. Just happened to come out the same week as Weapons. This news, so
Yeah.
it could be that it could be helping push that film. Um, but again, like they're getting top tier people to be a part of this show. Like they're just
Yeah.
not grabbing random kids. They're grabbing like kids who are like a kid who's like top tier.
This,
Now it says he's playing Noah, and on your thing you said it's
hmm
reported that he's playing Noah.
hmm
Kid looks like Hal Jordan.
Dude, he's even in real life. In real life, I went to like his business Facebook page. I guess like
Uh-huh.
agents and scouts can come see him, and he's got pictures all over all these different sets of things that he's been on, because he's already been in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But everywhere he goes, he has like this Hal Jordan-esque haircut. He's always wearing like this leather jacket from like, I don't know. Like, yes, they're saying his name is Noah, but I feel like there's more and more as time has gone on. I think that some of these casting names that they're announcing are just so that they don't give away the actual plot.
Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, listen, if these are the characters' names and there really is a kid named Noah and all of this stuff, then fine. But I'm just like, the information we're getting, especially with the Anton character, like, why even bother calling him Anton when the blurb about Anton is exactly Atrocitus' story? Like, it's like it's almost like Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof and Tom King are like, listen, here's the deal. Like, we'll just, maybe normal people who only know Ryan Reynolds, if they hear us say that we have someone in the show called Atrocitus, they're going to be like, this sounds fucking stupid. Really? A guy's name is Atrocitus? So what they do is they give him normal names, and us Green Lantern fans are like, okay, we got it. We know what you're doing. We're happy and we're excited to see these characters, but the regular people, will just let them discover it on their own. Like William Macon, like if you name someone William Hand, like that's weird. So I don't know. Maybe it could just be a way for them to, like, when they send stuff out to the trades, people aren't like, that sounds stupid and weird. Sinestro is a dumb name. Atrocitus is a dumb name, but I love them.
Yeah,
I love. They're really corny names. And what's funny about Atrocitus is, like, he wasn't even like a Silver Age character like Sinestro. Jeff Johns gave him the dorky name, and I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but this kid looks like Hal Jordan.
100%. He looks like Hal Jordan. He does.
He looks like Hal Jordan. So there we go. Clone Avenger says, still excited. I'm assuming this is my Adventures with Green Lantern. I'm still excited for it. Just glad Kyle is appearing in something new. I don't think he's popped up in anything since the 90s Superman animated series. Did he ever show up on Young Justice? I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did. Also, shout out to Clone Avenger. I see this user in multiple Green Lantern fandom comment sections, whether that's on YouTube. I feel like I see you on Reddit. I don't know if you're in the official DC Discord. Shameless plug, I am one of the moderators on the official DC Discord server, and we do have our own Green Lantern section. And we got a bunch of Green Lantern emojis people can play with. Right. But yeah, Clone Avenger has been very consistent in, like, helping boost the fandom and give engagement. So huge shout out to you. Appreciate you always coming through in everybody's videos.
Christian asks if either of us are reading Green Lantern Dark. Really great so far, but feel like no one I know is reading it. Great characters and art. I am not reading it, but that's going to be something where I will read it in trades and do episodes based on individual trades. If Green Lantern Dark is already in trade, then the first volume, then I'll go read that, and maybe I'll do that next week. Maybe I'll do that.
Hold off on it. We are getting ready for Green Lantern Dark number 6, I think. And
okay, so we're not there yet.
It's only a 7-issue run. So we just have 2 more issues, and then the whole thing will be done. I am reading it issue by issue. I am giving it my best. I think I said this in a video before. I think I'm struggling with juggling Green Lantern with Green Lantern Corps, and they share the same universe. It's the same story, basically. Then we have Absolute Green Lantern, which is a story with our character names and places that are familiar, but the story and how the universe operates is completely different. And then you have Green Lantern Dark, which is, for me, an unfamiliar place. I think it's like based in like Northeast US, but it's like Camelot is one of the places. And there's some like King Arthur-y names in it. The art is really cool, but with trying to juggle all 4 of these comic runs at the same time, it's not, I've never read it and felt it was bad. It just hasn't really clicked for me. And I can say the
Right.
same thing about Absolute Green Lantern up until
Hmm.
this most recent issue. This is the
Okay.
first time I read Absolute Green Lantern,
Right.
and I was like, oh my god, I cannot wait for the next issue now. Like this was the first
Okay.
time. So I'm hoping, I'm going to support anything Green Lantern that comes out in the comics, but I'm hoping that the next issue is the one that like clicks for me, because all the other ones are starting to move really, really well for me.
Okay. So I've read the first two, I think, issues of Absolute Green Lantern, and I've decided to take a break on that, and we'll again do a mega episode once like the first trade comes out. So give it a while. But like, dude, next issue, if you're like Ralph, you should probably start reading it. Then I'll go back to doing monthly episodes on that.
I've not been
But
doing videos on each of those comic
yeah,
runs. I've been waiting for Green Lantern Dark to be done and then give it
okay.
like a 1 through 7 complete overview rundown.
Hmm.
But I think if the next issue of Absolute Green Lantern, I'm actually, you know what? I've already committed to it in my head because my family's at the beach. I'm going to do my breakdown and coverage of this most recent Absolute Green Lantern comic issue, and then I'll probably just do one every time one comes out because, like I said, it's now fun for me and it's enjoyable, and I it's just clicked
Yeah.
to the point. Yes, it started off a little slow, and it's a lot to like wrap your head around while you're reading all these other runs, because the rules and the laws of what's going on, it's not the same. Like
Right.
Absolute Green Lantern has an Ab and Sur, but it's not
No.
what we know. John is not similar to what we know. Hal is not. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a secret for anybody. It's issue 1 right out the gate. Hal is Black Hand in
Yeah.
this, at least temporarily. I don't know if like they can, but it's
Undo.
so different. It's
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm intrigued. Vactor's been telling me like, dude, you got to check it out. You got to check it out. And I'm just, it's not clicking with me. But if it's clicking with you and it's clicking with him, I should probably jump on it as soon as issue
Yeah.
7 hits, and I can really do a deep dive and get back on that monthly. Because there are gaps and weeks where I have to come up with show ideas. And so it's easier just to do one based on a book. Also, I'm a Green Lantern channel. I should be covering these things. So we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
but we
see.
usually don't have 4 ongoings at the same time, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things is I try to. Um, it's not. Listen, I'm going to give everything Green Lantern related a shot. I will always be there and give it a shot so that we can go over it together, because there's some things people are reading that they enjoy that I don't, and vice versa. And that's what's great about doing this show live every week is we get your voices in here. You know, we talk about it. You know, if there's something I like you don't, let me know. Let me know why you don't like it, or vice versa. If there's something I don't like, let me know where I can get a new mindset. Um, yeah. So that's that. Speaking of ongoings, Green Lantern Corps #7 came out today. It is a follow up to Green Lantern 25 from 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Which, if you haven't checked that out, great issue. Um, I've been listening to a lot more Green Lantern podcasts lately, and there's some concern with some of the story stuff. I'm not super concerned about it. I'm still really loving these books. Um, some things I think are a little bit nitpicky. Other things I think are warranted. But for the most part, what Jeremy Adams and company have been doing on this book, and getting it out on time, like there hasn't been any delays. Like these issues have been coming out every month. Like, I'm enjoying the pace at which we're getting the story, and it's basically like every other week. Like, you're going to be here in 2 weeks talking about Green Lantern 26, which is a follow up to this issue that we're talking
Hmm.
about today. And dude, like that's fun. I'm not having to wait around like for like delays on a book
Yeah.
just to get like sort of a shitty story. I think it's every other week we get a really solid story. There might be certain aspects that I don't agree with, like the way Jessica Cruz was being utilized was something that I wasn't really keen on. her being kind of stuck indoors behind a desk seems counterintuitive to her growth that she's done with her past tragic story, and being sort of an introvert and stuff. So, but again, that was brought up on the last issue of Green Lantern Corps, with Joe kind of getting her out of her shell and using that same power to get Mogo out of his shell and then get Mogo to deal with Mogo's PTSD and stuff. So here we are, Green Lantern Corps #7. Will, what are your thoughts on this issue of Green Lantern Corps?
I think as I read through this the first time, I originally had kind of just burnt through it because I was excited, because that's what I do, at midnight when the comic drops for me. And I came away from that initial reading feeling like it was more like, it's not a bad issue, but it felt like a little bit kind of like a filler type issue. And I think maybe that's just because so much big stuff happened in Green Lantern 25.
Right.
How do you follow that up? You can't just keep making the stakes go up and up and up. You have to kind of come back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think this issue does a good job of like coming back down a smidge, but still giving me like the really good moments that I do like, that make me want to jump to the next issue. We get more in depth with what the Starbreakers are doing, what their purpose is, destroying the suns, taking the emotions away from everybody else, so that they can choose to rule planets or universes however they see fit. And I've had a complaint with the John Stewart run, War Journal, with how it ended because of how John couldn't let go of multiple things. One of those things being his mom. And it has been brought up in this main Green Lantern run, but I think only one person has kind of like checked him on it or talked to him about it. And then we've gone like several issues without them bringing it up again. And it seems like we're maybe working towards the resolution of that now, where maybe John can come to grips that sometimes when you lose things, they should be gone for a bit. I also always like and appreciate, you and I had many, and Vactor as well, had many ideas for where we thought the story was going based on the title, the description, and everything that we were seeing in the last issue. We were right.
You were pretty spot on.
With two of the robots. For what it was talking about, the ring, we were thinking it was Carol. But the ring was literally a Green Lantern ring.
John's.
Yes. Which is like imbued with like his mother's like source wall, which we were right on that.
That was obvious. Yeah, that was obvious.
I was also happy to see in this issue the Interceptor flying properly.
Oh my God, dude. I was so happy. I was so happy. And it just like, it looks so good. Like I was just like, seeing it fly the right way. It just made me feel so, it felt so right. And I can't wait to talk to Jeremy Adams about it in a couple weeks, because I definitely want to know if it's something they caught late and were able to fix later down the line and just put in that dialogue with her in the last issue or 2 issues ago. I'm gonna do a deep dive about that with him, because it has been one of those weird nitpicky sticking points.
I've heard everybody bring it up.
But dude, seeing it, not necessarily the first panel we see it. It's kind of a small, thin panel, like on page like 4 or something. But there's another one that's a little bit wider, and it's a shot, like a classic like Green Lantern animated series shot, where it's coming like at the thing, and you see the lines, you see the direction it's going, and you see the cockpit window, and it looked terrific. It looked absolutely terrific, and it made me so happy. You were mentioning that this felt like sort of not necessarily a filler, but definitely more toned down than the last issue. But what I like about that is so much stuff happened that it's nice to decompress. Also, we had a ton of questions. Like, what does this emotionless universe mean for Green Lanterns, for people in general, and why? What is the Starbreaker and his brethren planning on exploiting with this power? And there was a lot of questions, and it feels like Green Lantern 25 was like the big, like, holy shit, this is all coming together, and we're going to hit you with this bombshell at the end of this
Yep.
issue. This was like, okay, everybody got to see what happened. Now we're going to start answering some questions. So, rings are done.
Yep.
Like, the rings are done. There's nothing that can be done with the rings.
And because all the batteries have been built now, there's no more fractured spectrum where people can just be in a rage and it would tap into it. You don't have the emotions anymore to be able to go to an extreme to tap into fear or rage or will or any of that. Like, everybody is just their regular selves now.
And also, everyone's so cathartic that when they come to, like, take your soul and kill you, you don't put up a fight. You have nothing to fight for. Without emotion, you have nothing to fight for, which I think is really, really interesting, especially when it comes to Aya and Amazo, two characters that have lived their entire existence without emotion. Now, there's a little bit in here that I have to question about Aya. In the animated series, Aya, her AI was infused with a sliver of the entity Ion. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know. Like, she was told that by Scar, like, how she was created.
Yeah.
Right? So she does have a little bit, a sliver of life in her, but I think she doesn't feel like that's enough to be, like, a real person.
Yeah.
Or a living entity. I think she spent the majority of her life living without emotion, especially as the anti-monitor, that I feel like maybe that sliver of Ion has been is now emotionless, but she's still able to function because she functioned so long not knowing that she was actually had a piece of living being within her.
Yeah, and I think Amazo, or whatever his name is, he talked about it a little bit, how they're sentient AI, and that meant that he discovered willpower, but, like, he's not an organic life form, so this whole stripping of the emotional spectrum for everybody didn't phase them the way that it did everybody else.
Right. They already have, like, coping mechanisms for that. It's great. Christian says he hasn't been reading the current run. Christian, I highly recommend it. Sorry if we're spoiling the fact that Razor and Aya have made it into this run of Green Lantern from Green Lantern, the animated series. That alone is worth admission. I highly recommend. I think there's now, like, 2 or 3 trades out. There's 2 trades out at this point. Go grab the trades, read them. They're terrific. And then jump onto Green Lantern Corps. It's great.
I think he said he had the DC Universe app. If he's got that, he should be able to read up to, like, Green Lantern 24.
Okay.
So he won't be too far behind where we are.
That's great. Check it out. I can't recommend it enough. It's my favorite Green Lantern run, I think, since Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
Venditti, I think, did a really solid job jumping off from Jeff Johns's run, but I think I like this more. I think there's a lot of creativity in it. The War of the Lanterns, which I think was still Jeff Johns, and then there's, like, the first Lantern. Like, I get them all mixed up. After Brightest Day, I'm trying to remember what Jeff Johns did and what where Venditti started. But they mesh so well. They kind of went right into each other. But since then, like, with Jeffrey Thorne and Grant Morrison, like, those are different flavors. This is more my speed. This stuff. One of the things that we got in this issue, which I kind of sort of forgot about, was Kyle going into the Source Wall. To do a mission. And what's great is Kyle's been sort of holding on to guilt about his time at the Source Wall, but since he doesn't have any emotion, he's like, here, I'll tell you what happened, since I won't feel guilty about it, which is kind of a cool idea. And again, like,
Agreed.
Like with Kyle, again, he's so full of emotion, all emotions, where he's like trying to hold in and contain the white power the power of the White Lantern, which I wore today. I wore my White Lantern ring. Um, Not only has he been holding all of that in as far as the emotional spectrum this whole time, but also this guilt and stuff, like this mission that he didn't do, which is in the source wall with the entities, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like, listen, there's like no action in this. Like there's a little towards the end. So this issue's really sort of dealing with the fallout and letting everybody know, here's the rules. Here's kind of what all of this means after the bombshell of Green Lantern 25. And it's I always like the issues after a big event where it's like the four corpsmen sitting on a asteroid, like drinking beers.
Yes.
Like I always like that kind of stuff. So this was a nice like kind of decompression. The source wall. I've always loved the source wall. It's such a bizarre concept. The fact that it's the edge of the known universe, it hurts my brain because like it's that if you go up or down, left or right, does it fold back in on itself? Is it a giant? It's dude, it's too
You're gonna
much.
hurt my brain. Yeah,
it really does. It hurts my brain when I think about it, and then when I see it, I just love the design of it.
Yes,
where it's like these ancient beings, all sort of like in stone, kind of trapped. Like they all look like they're in pain too. But I've always liked the concept of the source wall. If we were to ever to get the source wall in some sort of other medium, like animated or live action, like I would love to see what that looks like. I'd absolutely love to see what that looks like. It's become such a big thing. It was created in like Green Lantern New Guardians, right? Around that time?
I think you're right around that time.
Yeah.
That might be the run.
Yeah. So it's a fairly newish concept, the last like 15 years or so. But it's a concept I really like, and I like that that all the Green Lanterns writers seem to enjoy visiting it.
Yeah, and usually when we talk about stuff like I'm obviously a big Kyle Rayner fan. That's my favorite Green Lantern, and anything that adds to how cool he is a massive win in my book. And I don't care who's writing it, who's drawing it, or whatever. But to get the story that, Kyle used these entities to try to fix the source wall before, and he couldn't really remember what happened, at least not fully. And now that he doesn't have these emotions running through him and the guilt and all that, it's explained that, like, obviously the entities are ultra strong.
Yeah.
They sent Kyle back out so that Kyle could find a way to then later get them out. Like, do you know how strong of a character you have to be for all the different entities? Their conclusion as a group is, let's get this guy out of here because he'll find a way to right this ship at some point later on. Like, it just makes Kyle out to be so much of a stud, and it just makes me appreciate Jeremy Adams for treating Kyle properly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a fridge during this whole run.
Right.
It's just he's hit all the right notes for me. He's allowed me to see him with different emotional spectrums running through him as a White Lantern, coming back to a Green Lantern, going to the source wall, coming out of the source wall, forgetting what the plan. Like, there's a story reason for everything, and I think that's what I really appreciate about Jeremy Adams' writing, especially on this run. Is as things have gone on, we've gotten the explanations for why somebody is acting this way or why they haven't used this power in a while. Like, it's all making sense within the universe, and I just appreciate that so much. Yeah. And like you said, the source wall looks so cool. It's just like a wall of different like bodies and beings. Like,
have you ever seen? Did you see Shin Godzilla?
Yeah.
You remember at the end of Shin Godzilla when he's like frozen and like all like petrified and stuff,
Hmm.
and then it goes up his tail and there's just like dudes, these
Yes.
interdimensional dudes crawling outside. It looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so rad. With okay, so here's something that I'm kind of excited about. Kyle and the Source Wall
Hmm.
together again. We have the entities. They're all there and they're talking. They're talking to Kyle. Starbreaker shows up and it's like is holding the interceptor, which is just like the fact that like this is happening in a comic. I never would have guessed like there would be a villain that is holding onto the interceptor in
Yep.
the comics. Like I never thought that would happen. There's a few people that don't show up in this issue, and that is Ellie Mae and Kelly
Yep. And Simon.
and Simon. So here's some thoughts moving forward. I'm thinking Kyle may he'll get into the source wall, he'll get the answers to do whatever he needs to do. This is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I'm thinking Kyle will contain the actual entities, all of them, within him, and it'll be a mad dash to Oa to light those lanterns, and the interceptor's going to have to escort him there. I think that Kelly's ring or John Stewart's ring, one of the two rings that, like Kelly's ring is not made by the Guardians. Kelly created her own ring, correct? With the
Yeah, I think
backpack and
so.
the gauntlet, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's probably not tied to the emotional spectrum the same way as the lantern rings. So maybe Kyle will be able to use that gauntlet to sort of funnel the entities out of his body into the power batteries. This is all pure
Yeah.
speculation. This is all guesswork on my part.
But it
Because
would
I'm
be
trying to think
really awesome.
because the way Jeremy Adams is doing things, he could have started his run and gotten rid of Kelly and Ellie Mae and been like, those characters are not part of the story. Get them out of here. They're, whatever. But he's using these people for a purpose. He's using these characters for a purpose. And I really hope that's the case. You're getting breaking news? You look like you're getting breaking news.
No, I was zooming
Oh,
in on the comic to
okay.
because you look at when you look at that final shot, which is just beautiful. Again, I'm a sucker for all the colors,
Yeah.
and you just look at how many entities there are. I then was trying to scroll back up in the issue on the computer to see in the shot where they're getting ready to break away from Starbreaker, and they're all kind of like flailing. I was like, if you take Aya away and you take Amazo away, the other characters that are there, if Kyle doesn't absorb them all, could it
oh,
be
shit.
Carol takes, hers,
Sapphire.
Sinestro takes
Sinestro.
his, Razor can go blue, but then after them, it's
Guy could take red.
Guy could take red, you're right. And then you have
John
Hal,
could take indigo.
John, and Kyle. I think that's all the other characters that are there.
There's no orange. But Hal can take green. Kyle can just be white. Get-
But
yeah,
then you can still like if Kyle has to be his own thing because he's got to fix this and like he was entrusted to do, maybe everybody absorbs one of the others in some fashion, and then Kyle is the way back out for them to. I don't know.
I have an
I was
idea.
just trying to do the math.
Here's something. The fractured spectrum has a 1-for-1 of every Lantern Corps. Like what was it? Is it happiness and
There was like happiness,
love?
sorrow, despair.
But
or
there's a
disgust.
1-for-1. There's a 1-for-1 for pretty much all of them. Our spectrum, the rage, avarice,
Mhm.
fear, will, that one, we don't have a gray.
Yeah,
We don't have a gray. We have a white and a black, which I guess
Right.
could make gray, but we don't have a gray in ours. Like there isn't a 1-for-1 for sorrow. Like what is our spectrum's sorrow?
yeah. It wasn't like how happy turned into greed real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so maybe Kyle will need to do that. Maybe Kyle will need to do uh, our Spectrum's, in quotes, version of Gray.
Or
Kyle the
maybe
Gray.
maybe that will be what Hal has to do. So
Right.
Hal gets to
Oh,
experience some of what Nate has been feeling and going through.
which Hal directly caused to begin with.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
And then, Kyle figures out a way to get everybody out of it. It does say in the next issue, it just says harnessing the entities, so it doesn't tell us too much.
Yeah.
Um,
It's got to be Kyle. It's got to be Kyle. He's the only one that could do it, right?
I feel bad.
I mean, harnessing the
because,
entities. Harnessing the entities again. Will it be within Kyle's body?
Yeah, dude. If he gets to absorb all of them, the art, the artwork and the coloring is going to be the sickest it's been in any run in a long time.
I think VK Marion might be on the next GL. I think he might be on GL 26. I don't know if it's Germanico or not. I think I remember it seeing, and if it's him, if it's VK Marion, then it's gonna be like wild anime style Kyle, like
My favorite.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts, dude. Yeah, this is a nice episode, or this is a nice issue.
It will be VK Marion.
So it's gonna be like, if it's Kyle centric, because I know he put Kyle on the cover. Like I've been doing, like they've been putting Kyle on covers, and that's all I've been using for my thumbnail art for the page for the channel, because it's just like, dude. I think the next or in 2 weeks it's Kyle riding a whale or something with a sword.
Yeah, dude. Just looking at some of the art for the covers. Yeah, Kyle in this, he's in his green, and he's riding the green entity. Carol's out with her purple one, and it looks like Hal has a collar around the orange one.
Okay, so this sounds like, okay, maybe Kyle won't get all of them, but there is definitely enough people in the Interceptor to escort each individual entity back to Oa.
But sometimes they just put stuff on the cover for art. Like they'll throw Kyle on a cover and then he's not in the issue at all.
As much as I love Kyle and want him to be able to take on this insane responsibility, seeing all these guys riding the backs of the entities sounds fucking dope as shit, dude.
It does.
I want to see, do you want to see Sinestro riding Parallax? Like, that sounds rad.
It does. It does.
They're all in the Interceptor. And Carol on Predator, and dude.
Yep. That's what I was trying to count, like how many, but I felt like there was too many people in there, and I was like, well, okay, but you can take away Aya, you can take away Amazo, but then I think there's still one left over. But then if you had everybody contain one, you still need somebody to rally them all together, figure out a way to get them out, and use Aya. What's going to happen to Shirley inside the Green Lantern ring that has been around? Because she was, when Starbreaker grabbed the Interceptor, it was her powering up and making like a spiky construct around the ship that made him let go, where they can punch through the source wall.
Which I kind of liked.
That was cool. That was cool. I still want John to get over all that.
Okay, here's the thing. So we had a discussion, and I don't know if you watched my episode, but I finally read volume 2 of War Journal, and you were like, man, I can't wait to see like what you think of how it ends. And I actually liked War Journal volume 2 a lot more than War Journal volume 1. I really enjoyed it. I still don't like the Elliot of it all, that he doesn't need to use his willpower to sustain that construct.
He made this, and now with its own thing, and then I feel like, okay, but he's doing that with his mom in a similar. It's not one for one.
He took like his mom's essence. I feel like it's almost like he just took his AI and said, okay, give it my mom's voice.
Yes,
but there's also some of her sort of mannerisms and attitude in there too. I don't hate it that much, and it made me think like, man, if I was a Green Lantern, it would be cool to set the audio of your ring, your speaking voice, to whoever you wanted.
I mean, people love doing that for their GPS.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, maybe Kyle's ring sounds like Alex.
Oh
Bring
yeah,
give her some more importance. Maybe Guy would have like Pamela Anderson or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be really like a funny thing
yeah.
to like see who would choose what for theirs. I bet you.
They made great use of Guy in this issue too, where
Oh
Aya
my
wants
God,
to bring
Aya.
him to the ship and he's not really feeling it. So she's like, I don't have time to have a conversation. And she just decks him and then takes
One
him back to the
punch.
ship. And Guy,
Guy.
the guy we know, would have fought her immediately right there on the spot. And he gets back to the ship and he's talking about how much better of a person he is now that they don't have all these emotions running through his body because he's
Yeah.
just using logic. And he's like, you didn't have to hit
Called
me.
himself. He called himself reasonable guy, which
Yeah.
is like never. That's those two words don't go together. But I love that Aya was like, she was like, hey, listen, like I did the calculations. Me doing it was the best case scenario for when he comes
Yeah.
back. Like when, because Guy would like, if any of those dudes did the same thing, like they'd never hear the end of it. Um, but I love that Aya. We get Guy knocked out again in one punch. This time by Aya of all people. Like I should probably bring that up with Jeremy Adams when it comes
Yeah.
up because it's a moment. It's, Guy getting knocked out is always a moment.
Yeah. She had her Batman moment.
Yeah, definitely. Um, cool. I don't know if I have any more thoughts on this issue. It was kind of a nice, relaxing read. I very much enjoyed it. It's great that everybody that is in the Interceptor are like all top tier, like Green Lantern
Yeah.
characters, all came together organically. As much as I would have loved to see like Simon and maybe Ellie and Kelly, but I was fine with just the group we had because that's like these are like Green Lantern. Every one of those characters are like Green Lantern staples since like
Yes.
well, I would say 2011 with Aya and Razor, but for the most part, these are all like Kyle Rayner's like the newest guy, and he's been around for like 30 years.
Yeah.
So, um, man, dude, I've been loving this. Um, thanks for joining me. Do you have any more thoughts on the issue?
I think just the only other thought that I have is sometimes you get your own hopes up, and at the end of the last issue, I was like, we're really about to witness something special with Carol,
Yeah,
and now it seems like we're getting that with Kyle. Maybe in the next issue, it goes back towards Carol after the Green Lantern 26. When they do the next part of this. And there's covers coming out where they're very Carol and Hal, or Carol and Jessica Cruz, I think, or it might have been Joe is on another cover with her. Where it seems like maybe she's still going to get her due, but I was just expecting her story to continue. But I'm never gonna complain about Kyle getting more time and more
right.
spotlight. And look, you have to make sacrifices. There's only so many pages in a comic book for you to tell a story. Like
Yeah,
you noted, we didn't have Kelly in the issue at all. Simon's
yeah,
not in the issue. He's really not been in this run very much. I know he's in
right.
some other run that's happening. Um, but I really do appreciate not forcing the issue. And like you said, they put like a good amount of characters in the Interceptor all together. It all makes sense while they're there.
Mhm.
I just think Jeremy's been doing an amazing job writing this story, and I think that we are pretty lucky to have him on Green Lantern of all things.
Yeah,
And I'm just always everything for this is like every single week, whether it's Green Lantern or Green Lantern Corps, we read it, and I'm immediately looking forward to the next issue.
yeah. Which will be in 2 weeks,
Yep.
and we'll be covering it. I'll see if Vactor will be able to join us then, because I'm excited to continue this Starbreaker supremacy thing. It's been a lot of fun. Um, cool, man. Thanks for joining me. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Christian, thanks for the super chat. Now I get to see what happens when that happens because I don't know, but that's really cool of you. He says he's interested in picking up the new run, which again, if you haven't, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me. Thanks everybody for joining me. I'll be back next week with something. Not sure what it is yet, but maybe I'll talk about all the news about my adventures with the Green Lantern that's come out. Or who knows, maybe we'll get a Lanterns logo or some sort of art. Peacemaker's just around the corner.
Yep.
So I'm hoping we start getting some overlap in news, and maybe with Nathan Fillion being in Peacemaker, I'll reach out again and see if he's available to do press for that, because I'd love to have him on the show and pick his bowl.
Yeah, Orla's bowl cut.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody, and I'll catch you soon. Until then, beware my podcast. It's Lanterns Live. Bye.